I'm Mary and I'm the owner of Mary Skincare, which is based in Prospect Vale in Tassie.
What do you do?
I am a nurse, but I'm also what's known as a practicing corneotherapist. So being a corneotherapist, we have a really good understanding of skin, cell systems, some cosmetic chemistry for ingredients. So that is what I do with skincare. And then I also do IPL, which is intense pulse light treatments. Basically use it for the permanent reduction of unwanted dark hair, but I can also use it to treat vascular pigmentation, and I sometimes use it for acne. A lot of people get confused between IPL and laser.
Okay, how can you explain them both?
Yes, so a laser has a direct beam of light, so henceforth if you had a laser pointer and went out, that light continues to go. IPL is more like a torch, so think of it as fragmented beams of light. So then we put different filters in to select different nanometers of light that will be cut off at certain points. So henceforth, if I'm treating acne, I'm using 420 nanometers of light, which is really shallow. If I'm treating unwanted dark hair, and it has to be dark because you cannot treat white, blonde or grey hair, there's no melanin. So with that I will be using 690 to sometimes 750 nanometers of light, depending on the colour of the skin. Then if I'm using 530, 560 nanometers of light, I'm treating vascular and pigmentation.
Okay, there's a lot of science behind it.
There is, and you have to have a really good understanding of wavelengths, skin tones, colours, drugs as well, because some medications can make you light sensitive, and it's a heat light source that we're using. So there's a lot of risks as well.
So I imagine there's been quite a bit of crossover from this job and your nursing job at the hospital.
My nursing comes in really handy. I think number one, nurses have a lot of trust, and it also helps with my medication side of things. So my clients can say to me, what about this medication I've just changed to? Is it going to make it safe for me to have treatments? And I can go, no, that medication will make you light sensitive, and henceforth then you could get a burn or a blister, so we don't do your treatment while you're on it.
Better safe.
Always. And one of the early things I learnt was you don't have to treat everybody. So I'm more than happy sometimes to say to people, no, the skin tone might be too dark, especially now with our immigration and lots of different skin colours that come through. Some of them are unsafe to be treated with an IPL, and that's where a laser can be a better option.
Okay.
Just because of the darkness in the skin, because that laser can go deeper, it won't pick up as much on the surface of the skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it makes it safer for them people.
Okay. How long have you been operating here?
14 years now in this business here. Yes.
Is there a typical client? Dare I say mainly women?
No, I do have male clients as well, but again I can be selective. So for example, I don't do male Brazilian treatments, and that's by my choice because I work from home, and there's other businesses that they can go to for that, but otherwise I'm pretty open to most clients. So my client age range would be from teenagers going through troubles with their skin right through to mature age lady. One of my oldest clients was 89 when she came to me.
Wow.
And she became a really dear friend, dear Edna, and she came to me, she rang up and wanted treatment for unwanted dark hair. A friend had directed her to me. So my business is mainly grown through word of mouth. I don't do paid advertising. And she came and we treated her and ended up going on, and she became a really good friend, as I said, and then I'd give her a monthly facial complimentary, and yeah, so I meet some amazing people, and some of them become really good friends.
I was going to ask you how customers find you, but word of mouth and online generally tends to be the way people can get your details.
It is, yes. Word of mouth would be the biggest one, yeah.
You mentioned a memorable moment, but have there been any challenges, any particularly more difficult things that stick out in your mind?
There was one really big challenge with an employee, but I won't go into details about that. Yeah, so
It is tough managing people.
it is.
So you've mainly been working by yourself here over the 14 years.
I have had 2 employees in that time. One was absolutely amazing, Kai, who is now a trainer for dermavigilers, and him and I will always remain really close friends. And he was just fantastic.
Okay. What are your plans for the future? What do you plan to do from here?
I continue to keep going as I am because I find this work easy. The hospital is more challenging, and I'm back there now 2 to 3 days a week working at the hospital, so it's a lot more physical. But some of my clients have said to me, I can't retire until I'm at least 90, so I'll be here on my Zimmer frame.
Yes, that's quite some time away.
It is.
Yes. Can I ask, are you in a particular department at the hospital, or is there particular work that you do when you're nursing?
I am working medical, but more palliative care now,
Okay.
which really I just love. It's at the end of their life, and I feel really honoured to be able to do that work with them people.
Yeah, I imagine difficult physically and emotionally.
Probably more emotionally, the palliative care. The medical is more physical.
Okay, all right. I read somewhere on your website or on Facebook that you've got a saying, "Don't be hairy, go see Mary." And I laughed at that.
That slogan came up very early on when I had the yellow pages, going back to those days. The person that came then to do the advert for me, and we were trying to come up with a slogan, and he actually said it, "Don't be hairy, go see Mary." And I went, that's it. I'm keeping that, and it's just became synonymous with me. And when I started, I used to go to marketing events, and when you do the elevator pitch, and at the end of it, I'd always end up with, and remember, "Don't be hairy, go see Mary." And it would always just stick with people. So some of my clients now will write in their appointment books, "Hairy Mary."
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
That's very good. Have you noticed any changes over the past 14 years in what clients are after in terms of treatments, I guess aesthetic stuff?
There's been a lot of change. So I have a doctor come here once every 3 months. We used to do a monthly clinic, and we do it every 3 months now, and he does anti-aging treatments. So over the years, I think there's been a lot more, because these treatments are much more accessible to people now, and people are on social media. They're seeing all these trends, so henceforth eyelashes were a trend for a while. I'm not a beauty therapist, so I don't do them, so I don't tread on their toes. I come from my nursing background. But also now with more businesses, people can offer more affordable treatments as well, and again, it's knowing the value of your treatments. So my prices, when I set up my business, it was mainly to help women with unwanted dark hair, especially hormonal facial hair growth. So some of my early clients, one lady was waxing her face twice a week, another shaving her face twice a day. So their hormones are raging and giving them all of this, and it's embarrassing. So one of my main things then was to help women with this and make it affordable, because at that time it was still quite expensive because there were limited businesses. So my prices haven't changed in 14 years neither. They're still the same as what I set them up to help women with that problem. Then I went on and did some further education, and I had to submit some case studies, and I got thinking about how frequently the treatments were being done. At that stage, we were being told to treat, say, every 4 weeks for the hair growth cycle, whatever. And then with my ladies with this hormonal facial hair growth, I thought, how about if I do the treatments close together? Let's say do them in a week and then another week. So I did a heap of trials, complimentary for the ladies, just so that I could do the case studies. And by the time I was getting through them, I had messages from clients saying, "Hey, can I reschedule? I've got no hairs." And I was just like, fantastic, this is working perfectly. And then we'd space the treatments out. So when I spoke to my trainer at the time and said to her what I was doing with my case studies, and she said, "Do you think you're not over-treating?" And I said, "No, think about it." And I've got the results, it's working. And then when I submitted them, and at the end of that, she said to me, "You've actually changed my way of thinking." She said, "All these years I've been teaching, do it this far apart." And she said, with your case studies and what you've proven is they have to be done closer together rather than later. So that was a big thing that changed some of her training. So it's just little things like that I like to. My mum always said, don't be a sheep, don't follow the crowds, be original. And so think about things, and that's what I embody. Believe and achieve, and believe and receive. And I educate my clients with, don't believe everything I tell you, go and look up things. And when I got into the cosmetic chemistry and was analysing all these ingredients, people were always then sending me products going, is this safe to use, is that not? And that's when I was already using Dermavigils and Mugu products. And at the same again, I would analyse them and give them the information and then say to them, you go and do your own research now. And if there's a word on a label of ingredients that you don't know, you can't pronounce it, and you can't understand it, Google it and see what it says. And it's really interesting what you'll find out.
Are you comfortable talking a bit about the
Shelves of shame?
The shelf of shame? Because there are so many products that people have access to now. I think some people are hesitant because they don't know what is good and what is not.
And a lot of the clients that end up here are young ones that have been and they've had good skin for a certain amount of time, and then they're trying all these different things, all these different products, and a lot of them play Russian roulette because they'll buy a cleanser from one range and a serum from another range, and it goes on. And then there's some ingredients that shouldn't be put together. So it's basically like Russian roulette, that they're putting all these different things on their skin, and their skin starts to react and break out, and basically it's saying, stop doing this, give me a break. But they just think, oh, we'll go and try something else, and a friend will say try this, or TikTok will say try this, and it goes on until their skin gets so bad that in the end they reach out, or they'll point it in my direction. So the shelves of shame originated, it started off as what was called a tox box. So people were bringing in their products and I would analyse them, and then if they were not good, the majority weren't, they'd end up in a box. The box soon became full and overgrown. So then I had these shelves put up in my room, and I would display all the bad products up on the shelves. And then I was trying to think of a name, and again the client said to me, the shelves of shame. So I put labels up with the shelves of shame, and it was all these toxic products. And then clients would come for a consultation and they would see all these big brand name products and think, oh, it's okay, I've got these in my basket, because they bring their ingredient products in for me to analyse. And then when they realised that they were all bad, they were like, oh no. So all of the products were donated to me, but the shelves in the end became just too big, too much, and too toxic in my house.
And what sort of products do you use? I think you mentioned a couple of brands before.
Dermavigils. So I've been a stockist of Dermavigils now for maybe about 12 years. Yeah, so Dermavigils is a range of skincare that is skin biological, so the ingredients mimic your skin. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Mugu supports it with things like shampoos, conditioners, and it's a more affordable range. But Dermavigils is the one that I need to use for changing people's skin. Okay. And what they're using, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, deodorant, anything that's going on their body is what I look at when they come for a skin consultation. Interesting.
You mentioned some of the procedures that women have had for the face.
The IPL.
What about the impact of treatment with you? How have people felt after?
That's probably the biggest reward, is restoring self-confidence and self-esteem. So from these ladies that were constantly shaving their face, waxing their faces, or plucking their hair, they'll get the mirror down and there'll be pluck, to not have to do that and to be able to go out and not worry and not have people looking and pointing out. Some people are really rude, and children especially, and point out to school teachers, oh, such and such, this has got a mo. And it's quite debilitating for them people. So to be able to restore that confidence and them not have to worry is probably the best reward. And then, as I said, we have clients that end up being really good friends.
When you're not working here, there, do you have other interests? Cars, perhaps?
Yes, I have delved into the world of motorsport. So I've been competing in the local Improved Production Racing Association here in Tassie.
Okay.
At Prospect Vale and down at Symonds Plains. And then a couple of years ago I went to Bathurst and competed there in a grid of 55, and I was the only female competitor.
How'd you go?
Same. Well, I didn't come last.
Yeah.
I came second last. I beat my partner.
What an experience, though.
It was, yeah. So again, it was not something that I ever set out to do. It was just as we go through life and we come into different things. And so I'm also secretary of the Improved Production Association, so I volunteer my time doing that. And yeah, I've been pretty lucky with the racing here and managing to collect a few trophies along the way. But I got into it actually by navigating, being a navigator in tarmac rallies.
Okay.
So we went off to Mount Buller and competed there in the first event ever together and got a third place, which was pretty awesome, getting a podium and getting champagne sprayed. And then we did a Targa here in Tassie, the one that was cancelled with the fatality.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my motorsport that I do on the side.
Very good. Keeps you busy. All right. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Matt.